Welcome to the Legal Value Network's Career Advanced Spotlight Series. Today we are joined by Madison Toft, who is a member of the Legal Project Management team at Perkins Coie. Welcome, Madison.
Thanks for having me, Marcy.
It is wonderful to have you. We really appreciate it. As we discussed, this is an opportunity for us to give people some perspective on all of the new and varied roles across the sphere of legal project management and pricing and profitability and all the P's. And so I would love to just get started. If you can tell us a little bit about your role and what you do at Perkins Coie.
Absolutely. So as Marcy mentioned, I am Madison Toft, part of the Perkins Coie Legal Project Management team. My current role is actually a newly formed role going by the title of Senior Manager of LPM Operations and Development. So in that role, I kind of function in three main categories. First of which is the LPM program development. So thinking about, are we using the appropriate tools and technology? Are we staffed appropriately? Are we supporting the projects we intended to? How can we collaborate with other departments at Perkins to optimize legal service delivery? Second, supporting client-facing engagements. So a lot of these tend to be large portfolio fixed fee arrangements. So what that could entail is managing intake solutions, advising on billing processes, budget creation and monitoring, and other custom reporting, all while ensuring that all of those solutions that our team is suggesting don't disrupt the processes that occur before and after each of those pieces. The third category is kind of a new part of our LPM team that we're adding to this role, which is LPM team professional development. So starting last year, we actually rolled out a formal training program for our junior LPM team members that has multiple tracks and levels. So this was intended to give the foundational learning to start supporting their own client engagements as a lead LPM. So in the example of the client support around a portfolio fixed fee that I mentioned, while our team members themselves are not directly owning intake, billing, or pricing, we do need our team members to kind of understand how all of those pieces of the puzzle operate. So when they present solutions, they understand how that will impact everything up and downstream. So our tracks of training that we have launched surround these topics, with each of those sessions starting with, why is this important for the LPM team to understand?
Fantastic. I love the whole idea of having a professional development component to your role. That's fantastic. Now, to what you just said, it sounds like there's an array of different skill sets and that you would need to bring to your job. Can you talk a little bit as to what those look like?
Yes, having worked with many teams from individuals from a lot of backgrounds, we have kind of played around with what it looks like to bring on someone from legal that we kind of teach to think analytically and strategically. And we've also had team members that come with an analytical background that we just have to train up to understand legal. I have found that it tends to, as learning curve rise, to be a little bit easier for those that have an analytical thinking background to learn legal, as the operations of legal are really not that nuanced that they can't be caught up on easily. And then also anyone with an Excel background is also immensely helpful, as I'm sure others at law firms on the client side have experienced. We're still doing a lot of things in Excel, so there's a higher comfort level with that. But aside from that, just a general curiosity to understand how things work and how is my piece of the puzzle fitting into the larger scheme. I think that is a huge contributor to people finding success in these roles.
I love the curiosity component is great. Now, what do you find to be most rewarding about your job?
Yeah, so taking on more of a training role recently, I've really fallen in love with what I'm kind of calling these light bulb moments. So the first time someone understands how a pivot table works, or the first time someone understands the logistics of how a volume discount is billed. I think watching all of those moments unfold has been very exciting to me. Second to that, I'd probably say the problem solving across the entire spectrum of an engagement, and kind of the strategy that goes into, if I pull a lever here, here, and here, but it kind of provides a damper onto this, how I kind of recalibrate and create a solution that optimizes as many areas as possible, which tends to actually end up being what brings the least pain to all of the different pieces of some of these engagements.
I love it. Pivot tables, you're speaking my language. I know there are people who probably, out there who would shudder at that, but I like it. Now, when you started out, was this, your dream job, what you anticipated you would end up doing? And if not, how'd you get here?
Yes, I have a brother graduating high school this year, and he was kind of asking me like, how did you end up here? Was this your dream job? So it was kind of funny you asked that as well, because I don't think anyone, in my mind, dream jobs are more about the environment you're working in, the people you are working with, the opportunities you have. So I can't say that I ended up in legal or an operations role, but I have always kind of trusted that the wind will blow me where I'm supposed to be. I always identified as a numbers person and always thought I would be really anchored to that. I think analysts are really just storytellers. You're looking at numbers and developing the story they are telling. So I always kind of thought I would be doing something specific to numbers and analytical thinking. But now recently, with some of the newer roles I've had, I've been getting more opportunities to explore things on the operations and strategy side. So that's kind of opened up a whole new playground for me that I've been enjoying quite a bit.
Excellent. I have spent a lot of my career working with data and storytelling as well. Although now I call myself, I feel like I'm a sociologist for lawyers, right? I've shifted over to more leadership and culture now. So
yes, part psychology, part analytics, part Excel, part therapist, depending on.
We do it all.
Yes.
So for those who are interested in a career in this area, and maybe specifically in the kind of role that you're playing, what one piece of advice might you have for them?
The one thing that kind of kept coming to mind and what I have had luck with and kind of seen others be successful with is not letting your title or even the team you live with on define what you are engaged in, the questions you ask, the projects you work on. I think going back to that curiosity piece, I've been fortunate enough to work for firms that have let me grow and create my own roles just because I've kind of followed an interest this way or developed a skill set here. And if I were to constantly be kind of living in my pricing role or just my LPM role or just my analyst role, I don't think I ever would have gotten to some of the opportunities that I've had recently because I kind of just kept exploring and working within environments that let me pursue some of those interests.
Excellent. So back to the curiosity.
Yes.
Fantastic. And would you be open if people are interested in learning more about what you do or getting any more advice from you? Would you be willing to have people contact you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm always reachable on LinkedIn. So you can always ping me there and then I'm happy to share my work email.
Wonderful. Madison, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And I'm sure the association appreciates it as well.
Thanks so much, Marcy.